G'day folks, my name's John. I do product reviews and make travel videos from around Western Australia. These aren't just videos of me on holidays, they include useful information that you, the travelling public, might find helpful if you're travelling or thinking of travelling around the great state of WA. So subscribe and join me as we see where we're off to today. G'day folks, how you going? And welcome back to the channel. And this series, the Exploring Kalbarri Dongara. In the last couple of videos we've been looking around the Kalbarri area. Today we're going to have a look around Dongara, at the town side of Dongara. Now most people drive straight past this and don't stop, so this will give you an idea of why maybe you might want to stop. Anyway, let's not dribble around anymore. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that thumbs up. It all helps the channel out, and let's get into it and have a look at what Dongara has got to offer us. Heading north up the coast from Perth, most people have driven past this fella. It's on the doorstep of Dongara, a coastal town 340 kilometres from Perth, and today we're going to have a look around town. Now there's actually two towns here that have become one. It just depends on what side of the river you're on to where you live, and I wouldn't be surprised if there is some kind of rivalry over who is better than the other. So what's the population here? Well, that's a bit confusing to find out. What I found out was that Dongara has about 1,400 people, but on another piece of information I got said that Port Denison has 3,000 people, and then on the next line it says 1,450, so I'm not really sure. So let's just say it's between a dusty old garage with a dog rolling in the dirt and a high-rise city with its own international airport. Oh look! It's got an airport! Well, an airstrip anyway. The Shire has recently spent some money smartening up the main street, and driving down you can see that Dongara is just a small country town. It has what you need in that there's an IGA supermarket, a couple of banks, a few specialty shops, a pub and a motel. The town has been around since the early 1850s, and some of the early buildings are still here. There is a self-guided walking tour you can do to check out the town, which I did some of it here. Town doesn't have at least one church, and here's no exception, with two on opposite sides of the corner. And to keep them apart, on the other two corners is the town hall and one of the early schools. Next to the town hall is the current council office, which is also the tourist information centre. If you're into museums, then next to the info centre is the police museum. You'll need to be a little bit flexible with the opening times because the volunteer staff are. That aside, the staff are very friendly and keen to fill you in on everything and anything that is in the museum. Especially the old timer out the back. He's really keen to talk, and it's great to have people at their age still getting out doing things and so keen to tell people about the past before it's all lost. You can't get the feeling and emotion from a story out of a book. We'll come back to the museum later. Back to the town. Our next stop is Pierce House, built in the 1870s for a local merchant and farmer. It's one of the best examples of a Victorian Georgian style building in the town. It even has a huge cellar under the house. You can see why it just recently sold in 2022 for just over $1 million. You can check out the inside photos from the local real estate agent's website. I'll put a link in the description below. You just never know what you're going to see when you take a walk around somewhere. The old mill was once a landmark of Dongara, not to be confused with the motel next door. Built in 1894 by Mr. Pearce from the last house we just saw, it was converted around the 1970s into a house. For the caravaner, there is a free camp spot next to the oval, about 2 streets back from the main street, and includes a toilet dump. There's a great little walkway that follows the river out to the ocean. And when you cross the river, you're now in Port Denison. The first thing you're going to see on the left after you cross is Russ Cottage Museum. Russ Cottage was built about 1869, then purchased by the Shire 100 years later in a derelict state. After a year of restoration work by volunteers, it was opened as a museum to the public. It is still open to the public, although the times are a bit more of a suggestion than anything else. But even if it's not open, you can still see through the windows. The problem with museums, you start to see things that were around when you were a kid. How many things can you spot from your childhood? Tell us in the comments. Now for Port Denison. Well, as the name suggests, it's on the ocean, and a great place to get an overview of the marina is from the lookout at the end of the street. And this monument is to all the fishermen that lost their lives at sea. The marina has just had a lot of money thrown at it. Now, I don't really remember it before the works, but it looks pretty damn good now. In Port Denison must be the last drive-in movies in WA. Although it looks like it's been closed for the last half of 2022 for machinery upgrades. There are a lot of questions being asked about it reopening, so let's hope the gates open soon. Denison House is on the riverbank on the Denison side of the river. Not much info on it apart from the fact it was built using some of the stone from the old mill that used to be on this site. The Nunorcia monks bought it in 1944 as a retreat. Check out my video on Nunorcia if you haven't seen that yet. There are a couple of caravan parks here, and I'll do a review on one of them coming soon. museum is located in the old police station. It was built in 1870 and was the district police station, local court and convict ticketer leave station. For a while the post office was also out the back. In 1983 the police station was closed before it was turned into a tourist attraction. The museum isn't just about the police and the court system of the day. It covers a number of interesting artefacts that were important to the early days of the district. And as I said earlier, the old timer out the back, he's really keen to tell you the stories and show you how things were done in the past. So there you go, the Dongara Port Denison. Like I said, most people go straight past, and it's worth stopping at, and it's pretty popular during the summer months for holidays and things like that. So in next week's episode we are going to have a look at the Greenough Historical Settlement, which is just a little bit further up the road from Dongara towards Geraldton. That'll be another one that'll be interesting to have a look at. So as I said before, hit the subscribe button, give the thumbs up, all helps the channel out. Now if you want to also help the channel out financially, there's a couple of ways you can do that as well. If you do any shopping on Amazon, go down the bottom in the link down there, hit the Amazon button, and that'll send you off to Amazon. Then you can go buy whatever you like wherever you are, and that'll flick a few cents back to the channel. And it costs you nothing to do that. The other way is also there's a PayPal link down there as well. If you want to make a one-off donation or something like that to the channel, you can go through that and do it that way, and that all helps to try produce some more videos around Western Australia. So I think that pretty much covers everything. So till next time, happy travels.